Hello, hello, hello. Hello, little peepee. How are you? He said, I'm just fine. So I am cleaning up as we speak. I'm like putting all of my stuff back because I just filmed my videos. And it is 7:10 p.m. and I just texted Alex and he's like at work. He's not sure if they're going out to dinner or not. He was like, do you want to go out to dinner with us? I was like, no, I want to do a live stream. I'm not really like, I want something to eat, but I don't know what I want to eat, but I just don't feel like getting dressed to go out to dinner right now. I just want to kind of lounge around the house. So I wanted to show, first of all, can I just tell you guys, here are all my Lush products. Sephora, Ulta, and just all of the crap that I bought. So, I'm gonna take these, oh, there's my wallet. I'm gonna take the products out, because I just did an entire haul video. Let me just tell you that I am kind of like loving, this is gonna sound so corny, this Buxom, lip plumper. It's like, it just looks like a huge chapstick. I don't love the smell, but I will tell you that it really makes your lips tingle, so I really, really like that. See, I'm putting all this stuff in my little Puma bag. And then I also got, oh, here's my old lip plumper. But then I also got this Glam Glow lip plumper, and it was expensive. It was like $24. The Buxom was like $17. I put this on and I don't like, it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't, this is what's so cool about this. So here it is. Okay, but anyway, this is what I love, and then it's like a little wand and you pull it out and you like, but it doesn't really make my lips plump at all. I remember back in the day, why is it not pushing in? Oh. I remember back in the day, getting some that, like, made my lips feel like there was, like, hot peppers on them, you know? But I wouldn't say that these do that. And then here are my bath masks that I got at Meijer. I'm gonna take all this stuff upstairs. Make sure I have everything that I need to take upstairs. Okay. And then I don't want to throw anything away. And I went to Ulta today because so many people were telling me about, well, I got the chapstick that I wanted. This was all in my main channel video if you saw it, if I ever get it uploaded, because right now it's telling me it's going to take me 3 hours to upload. But here's the chapstick that I used to use back in the day when I was in high school. Although it didn't say Clinique on it. It was just like a silver, like, and it was clear. It, like, this looks like it's like a nude, but there's no color to it. Oh. That's going in my bag. And then here is this body butter that I got from the Body Shop at Ulta. So that can go in the trash. And then all of the Lush products. So all this stuff can go there. Our Halo Beauty, Alex's and mine's. Mine's can go in the trash. Okay. Pee-pee, we are just getting everything cleaned up, aren't we? I do not understand why my video is not wanting to upload tonight, but it's not. It doesn't even say how long it's going to be, so something is wrong. I don't know what it is, but something's wrong. Okay, so I don't know anything about this designer or this person, anything, but his name is Jeremy Van de Veer. It's either Van Diver or Van de Veer, but I think it's Van de Veer. And He like follows my Instagram. He's super nice. He follows my channel. He's always like, did he leave a little note in here? Oh, he did. He always leaves the nicest comments. He always like, he sent us like this huge package. Look. Oh my God, it even has his name on the back of it. So he owns a makeup company, you guys. And I'll link it below. You can go check it out. It's jeremyvandevere.com. And, okay, so here's the note. Oh my God, little Peter. A little thing on the back of it. Thank you, Jeremy. This is awesome. Thank you, it says. I'm going to start out by saying thank you for being you. Your videos touch so many of us. You are amazing. I just wanted to send you a few things from my company. Now you can practice your beauty guru looks, LOL. I also enclosed matching shirts for you and Alex. Continue to be you, Jeremy Vandevere. Oh my God, Jeremy. That was so awesome. So here's the shirts that he sent Alex and I. It says Hot Java on the back, which is apparently from company. And then it says, hit it hard. I love that so much. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Okay, I love that. And he got me one and he got Alex one. Mine is a 2XL. Like, I know I'm big. I'm not that big. I'll wear it to sleep and around the house and stuff like that. Oh my God, that was so sweet. Okay, so then he sent me these little packages. So here, we're going to open them. They have little stickers on them and everything that are so cute. It says, I hope you love it. Oh my God, with a little... How cute is that? Okay, I need some scissors. Go Overboard Cream Shadows. So it's a blue eyeshadow. Jeremy. Okay. I will say the packaging is really nice. It's it says Jeremy Vandevere on the clear thing. It's really nice. I should have put this in my main haul today. I didn't even get this stuff till afterwards. Makeup remover, Jeremy Vandevere, oil-free makeup remover. If this is like a cleanser, I'll use this on my face. Oh, it is. Oh, I love this. It's like purple. Look at that. Oh, and it smells really fresh. I like that. PB is so intrigued. I can be sold on packaging real easily. This one is like double wrapped. It's like wrapped like a present. And then it's also bubble wrapped. If this is a palette, I will die. I think this is a palette. Eyeshadow palette, 15 shades. I should have saved this for another video. I know nothing about this, by the way, just so you guys know. Like, I don't know what's good or what's bad or anything. I do know that I was just looking at the color palettes at Ulta. This is pretty. It's just like all black. I'm having a hard time opening it. Oh, I get it. Okay. And lots of golds, browns. It's like kind of like, I would say, like more of like an autumn palette. And you guys are seeing what's up in there. Tea, honey, honey. But I would say it's more of like a fall palette. Very pretty. Thank you so much, Jeremy. That was really nice. That buxom is like really making my lips tingle. So, that was awesome. That was my day. And, here are the 3 products all together. I'll link his website below and you guys can go check it out. Somebody commented on my vlog and they said one of the reasons they like watching my vlogs is that, I thought this was an interesting comment, but I appreciate it. They said, I like watching how you receive gifts and that you like are very like just nice about it and whatever. You know, my mom taught me there are a lot of people out there that just like to give gifts, you know. I'm one of those people. I love to give people gifts. I always am surprising Tanya and Alex with stuff. and other people in my life as well. Just little random things. I have a friend of mine that her parents were Orthodox Jews, and a couple years ago, I was so excited. I like ran upon this like what's it called? This like kosher cookbook at Half Price Books. It wasn't expensive or anything. It was so small and it was little, and it had like all of these like for every like holiday or like high holiday in there. It had like these recipes, which she already knew, but it was just really cool. And in the top, it had like the person's name and like their grandmother written in it and stuff like that. And I was so excited that I had found it. And it's like little gifts like that I love to give people. But, you know, my mom always taught me that when somebody gives you something, it's an extension of their love. It's an extension of their, you know, just how they feel about you. And that a simple thank you is all that is necessary. My mother always wrote thank you notes for everything that she received. I am not good about that. So I will just tell you, I'm not good about that. I never was. My aunt used to laugh and she would say, Peter, if you do not, because my husband's very good about it. If you do not send thank you notes like your husband, there will be no more gifts. That's what she would say to me. Right, Phoebe? We miss Aunt Kathy. Okay, so, yeah, I think that's it. Okay, I am going to get off here and contact Alex and kind of like, I was texting him, but find out what they're doing and what's going on. And then I'm going to throw this stuff away, take the rest of it upstairs, and I will see you guys in a little while. So we just got done with the live stream, and I'm just fed the dogs. There they are, eating. Pee-pee, is that so delicious? And I made a fire in the fireplace. First fire of the year. Look at that. And I'm gonna go get something to eat. And it is 9/11. Alex went to Ruth Chris with his friend that he works with. He asked me to go, and I'm like, I am not in the mood to try to pull myself together. So I'm gonna go get something to eat and come back, and yeah, that's about it. So I'll see you guys in a little while. Bye. Hello, how are you guys doing? I am having a wonderful evening. Creaky Halloween door. I'm trying to think of what I filmed last. I think I was in the kitchen, and then I was gonna go get something to eat. Oh, I showed the fire. Yeah. So this evening, what did I do? Alex had asked me if I wanted to go to Ruth Chris with he and his friend, but I didn't want to go. I didn't feel like going to a steakhouse tonight. Plus, I looked like this, and I would have had to have like taken a quick shower because they were like on their way there. So they went, and they split stuffed chicken and a Caesar salad, he said. And yeah, and then he got home at about 10. Because he walked in just as I was finishing Project Runway All-Stars. So I finally have finished Project Runway All-Stars. I'm so behind on all my shows, you guys. I'm like 2 entire seasons behind The Walking Dead. I don't know that I'll ever catch up on it. Jane the Virgin I watch with Alex now, but I have no clue what's going on, and I constantly am asking him questions, and it's like driving him crazy. I was like, we were watching it this week, and I was like, so did Raphael lose all of his money? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, how? And he's like, it's a long story. And I'm like, Petra's a lesbian now? And he's like, it's a long story. I used to love Jane the Virgin. I'll probably try to catch back up with that show, because I really do love Jane the Virgin. And then I went upstairs, and I was like putting away the bath stuff, and well, I put the stuff that I bought from my haul into the bathroom. I didn't put it really away. I just kind of set it on the counter. And so we were laying in bed talking and stuff like that, and I was so cozy, and I could see like the fire, like you could see like the shadows of the fire like crackling on the wall. And it reminded me of back in the day, because we used to have fires like almost every night. And this was the first fire of winter 2018 that I had on April 16th. So funny. Tanya has fires like every night in the winter. Like, she buys boxes constantly of Duraflame logs, and then her husband just gets like an entire rick of wood, and then they like, she has, I mean, constant fires. And I used to, but I just don't as much anymore, obviously. But it was really nice having, I don't know what made me feel like inspired. I was like, life's short, I'm gonna have one fire this year, but I guess I could have more because it's supposed to be really cold for like the next week. I'm really over this weather. I can't believe that we are halfway through April and it is 35 degrees outside right now. It was snowing earlier today, and it has been spitting snow like all night long. And people were like messaging me and stuff saying that, like, I have to turn the heat on, it's cold. People were messaging me and saying that like Minnesota got like 23 inches of snow, and oh my God, it's crazy. I really do not remember ever like having this kind of cold weather late in the year. Usually by spring, it's, in Indiana at least, it's usually like, you know, tulips and flowers. And last year, I remember it was like the first week of May that we had my brother-in-law, Fufu, and his girlfriend come, and they cleaned the front walk for us. That was the first week of May last year, maybe, I think. Maybe it couldn't have been much after that, because I remember they were trying to save some extra money for moving, and that's why we had them do it. And they moved not soon after that, so maybe it was a little bit later than that, because they left in March and they went on like a 3-month driving trip across country. So maybe it was like the end of May, but end of May, maybe beginning of June. But now, if we're sitting here in June and we're having snow, okay, this is crazy town. I was talking to my neighbor on the street the other day, this one that was friends with my aunt, and she said, I said, isn't this weather crazy? And she goes, oh my God, it's unbelievable. And she said, I think we're gonna go, because it reminds me of back in the day when, like, I was growing up. And I said, you guys used to have weather like this in Indiana? And she was like, oh yeah, we used to have like winter would go like way late into April. And she said, and then you would have no spring, it would just all of a sudden be summer. You would go from like 30-degree weather all the way to like 80-degree weather literally overnight. So I guess it's not such a new thing after all, I don't know. The thing is I'm kind of done with it, because I tend to hibernate more when it's like this. I've sat around all day today and like had the TV on in the background. I've been reading my Sweet Audrina for my book club. Somebody asked on here, they said, so when does the book club start? The book club started yesterday. Well, it started on Sunday. All of the book club videos will be on my BookTube channel, which is called Peter Likes Books, so go check it out over there. And yeah. And the next book that we're reading, if you didn't get a chance to start this, is Heaven by V.C. Andrews. And we are going to be reading that, I think it's the 30th it starts, the 29th or the 30th. I did a video the other day on my BookTube channel called The Book Club Begins, The Rules. And underneath there, I listed the dates with all of the books. So that is what we are doing. My Sweet Audrina is really good. It's spookier than I remember it being. And honestly, like a better written than I remember it being. I don't remember V.C. Andrews being like this incredibly great writer, but like it's really well written. Very lyrical. But anyway, I will save that for my BookTube channel. I'm at a point again where I'm reading so many different books. And what's so funny is I always, like, if I have to pick a book, I always go to that manga book, Orange. It's really interesting. This is my iced tea that I had last night, and it is called Gold Peak. And this is Pure Leaf, and this tastes like shit. I don't like it at all. I don't know why I'm going through this iced tea phase right now, but really what I want is a bottle of water. So I probably going to stop here in a little bit and get a bottle of water. Oh, this is what I was going to say. So I was laying on the bed talking to Alex, and he was like on his phone, and then he like turned his phone off, and we were just like laying there in the dark talking. And I was like laying a way that I never lay. It was so funny. I have like 2 blankets, and I like had my like arm through one of them, and like I was holding Boo, and he was just like letting me like hold him, you know, like a little baby. And I was just so like cozy and comfortable. And then Tucker like laid right down next to my leg, and like Pee-Pee was like up by Alex and I, and we were just kind of like talking. And you know, like when you do that talking, it reminded me so much of my mom and I back in the day, like especially when we would go on vacations as we got older. But you know, like when you like are talking and you're like, yeah, and you're just like going back and forth, and all of a sudden I just was out. And I woke up like a half an hour later and looked at my phone, and I was like, just 10 more minutes. And I woke up like an hour later, and that's when I was like, okay, go vlog, get your stuff done, get some ice. I like woke up the second time, and I was like wide awake. I was like up, you know. Tomorrow, I didn't even see the stupid heat button light thing on because I wasn't looking at the camera, and it just shut off. Let's see. Tomorrow I am going to get up, and I was going to do my videos in the morning and then go into my office and write for a while. But I think that I am not going to do that. I think that I am going to go into my office, try to get into my office by noon, like be there by noon, and then stay there till like 2 or 3. I'd like to solid write for like 2 or 3 hours. And then come home, make my videos. I already know what my videos are going to be about tomorrow. Because my drama video, I was waiting to like talk to somebody before I made it. And then we have marriage counseling tomorrow evening, and then I'm going to go to my meeting with Tanya. So I'll probably either take a shower and then do my videos, or do my videos and then take a shower and get ready. I don't know. And that's my tomorrow, and then I may do a live stream when I come home. It just depends on how tired I am after my meeting. Sometimes I'm just so exhausted because my day's been so long, you know, that I'm just like not really in the mood, and I'll maybe be in the mood to just kind of, you know, read or something. And then that's Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm doing like every other day writing right now. So Wednesday I may not write. I may just read and relax. I kind of wanted to go to the library and hang out for a little while. I haven't done that for a while. So, what cologne is that? I have like some cologne on. It smells really good. I wonder if it's something that I sprayed while I was in like Ulta or Sephora. But anyway, and then Thursday, we have a birthday party that we're going to. It's our friend Aaron and Susan. They're having like a joint birthday party at this really cool restaurant in Indianapolis. And Melissa and I are going there, and then Alex is going to meet us after he gets off work. And, excuse me. So, what is today? 17th. I'm getting my hair cut on Thursday, too. Which I'm like, it really needs it. It is like really needs it bad. And so we're going to this restaurant on Thursday. I'll probably try to film a little bit of that because I've heard that this restaurant is very, very cool. And I want to kind of keep it a secret. You guys will know why, like, I just want to show it like as a secret because it's like a different concept. And I mean, we have cool restaurants in Indianapolis, but we don't have like really cool concepts. And this is kind of like a really different cool concept. And for a birthday party, it's very cool. So I've never been there. All my friends have been there. I've never been there. So we're doing that on Thursday evening. And then we don't have any plans this weekend whatsoever, I don't think. Just kind of nice. really just loving my life right now, you know, like making videos and writing and reading. Like, I'm really, really enjoying it. And, it's really just relaxing, and I'm kind of like getting into this ebb and flow of kind of like my structure, you know? And, I wasn't like able to do that for a while. Like, sometimes it takes me kind of like a while to kind of like get used to like changing of my schedule and things like that. So anyway, I was thinking today about, I don't know why, I was thinking about like going to Michigan with my dad on weekends back in the day, like when I was a little kid, to the sailboat. And it was called the Forever Young. It was named after the Bob Dylan song. And I don't know why I was thinking about it today. It was so windy in Indianapolis. We never went up there when it was this cold, ever. I think my dad did, like late in October and stuff. He would like sail the boat to Chicago and stay in Chicago and stuff for the weekend. But he like never, like, I don't remember ever being up there, because like Lake Michigan can get really pretty treacherous, and like big waves and stuff like that. But I do remember like early summer, late spring, we would go up there for the very first time, and I can remember like opening the boat for the spring and stuff, and it was always like really like musty smelling when we would first open it. And like that first weekend up there would be all about like cleaning the boat and cleaning it out and airing it out and stuff like that. That was always like such a fun weekend, because like everybody would be up there. And my dad's partner, he and his kids and wife they had a boat up there too, so they would go up there, and we would all just like run around and go out to dinner in town. And Saugatuck, Michigan back then wasn't like what it is now. Like now it's kind of like the province town of like the Midwest, but back then it was just a towny town. I mean, it was really nothing. It had like 3 restaurants and like a little hotel, and I think it had like 1 bed and breakfast, and like a coffee shop called the Stone Mug, which I loved. I put it into my book that I wrote. It was this coffee house that when you walked into it, this place always made me like, I always wanted to own like a coffee shop like just like this. I remember, it's interesting because years later, the movie The Perfect Storm, my mom and I went and saw it, and my mom said that she, you know, spent like summers in Hyannisport when she was, I don't know if this is true or not, but she said she did, that she spent summers in Hyannisport after college, like every summer after college. I think if there's truth to it, she did 1 summer is probably the truth, more likely, but I remember when, like, she saw that movie, like, it really reminded her of, like, those East Coast little small towns, and, which, like, for my mom and dad's, like, their anniversary, for their, honeymoon, because my mom loved that whole, like, East Coast, like, you know, that whole, all those little towns, they went to, like, Cape Cod, and they went in and out of those little small towns for their, honeymoon for, like, 2 weeks, but, she was like, that movie reminds me, and that bar in that movie, she said, reminds me so much of like all those little small bars on the East Coast. Well, this coffee shop in Saugatuck was called the Stone Mug, and I remember outside there was like this, just like this wood placard that would like hang, and it had like this mug in the middle of it, and it just said Stone Mug. And then you went inside, and there were like 2 like big old leather chairs, you know, like those cushioned leather chairs, and there was like this big huge like what do you call it, bookshelves of just like books after books after books, and then in the back there was like a couch and like 2 more chairs with like this huge library, and you could buy books or you could just read them while they were there. Like every book had a price tag on it, but they weren't like new books, they were like older books, and so like the prices were like 25 cents. So you could like start a book there if you like lived there or were staying there for the summer, and you could like, you know, then like say, oh, I want to take this book with me, and it's 25 cents, right? And then at the counter, they had, like, of course, like, all these sandwiches that fresh made sandwiches and pastries and, you know, pots of coffee and tons of different kinds of tea. And, because I used to always get tea, I think, back in the day. And behind the counter, they had all these different mugs. And so you could pick whatever kind of mug you wanted. And they were all those big, like, stone mugs, right? And, there was a fireplace in the back and stuff. It just was like the coolest place, and I loved it. And I just forever always wanted to own a place like that, you know, like, I've often even thought about, like, writing a book about, like, a woman that moves to, like, a town and she, like, opens a little place like that or works in a little place like that. I would love to have a little, you know, little shop like that I just went to every day. And, the area that my office is in is very, very similar to that. It's like very artsy, and there's little stores, and there's actually a coffee shop really close to me that I go to sometimes called the Monn Coffee Shop, but it's not, it's similar to that, but I mean, there's no books, there's no, like, mugs behind the counter, there's no fireplace, I don't think. But I always thought that was fun. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and she's like, well, I want to own, like, a boutique coffee shop. And I'm like, boutique? And she's like, yeah, I want to have, like, clothes and stuff in it. I was like, oh, that's cool, I guess. I'd never really heard of that kind of thing before, but hey, whatever your gig is, have at it, you know? Dream big. Thinking it'd be kind of fun to drive up there. Alex and I have never, like, gone to upstate Michigan. When I was in high school, though, I looked at Hope College, which was in Holland, Michigan, and because I always thought that area would be kind of fun to go to college. If you've ever been to Holland, Michigan, they actually have, like, windmills like Holland, and it's beautiful. It's just like green rolling hills, but it's on Lake Michigan. And my friends and I went up there for a weekend, and we stayed in Saugatuck, and we had so much fun, like, walking around the town and all that kind of stuff. And I think that was the last time that I was up there. And then my mom's best friend lived on Beaver Island her entire life, and we went up there. I only ever went up there with her once to Beaver Island, and I was, like, in 9th grade going into 10th grade. And I remember the house that we rented was so adorable, and it was like $400 for, like, I don't know how I remember that, but my mom just kind of could not get over the fact that this house was $400 for a week. And I mean, split between two people, because her friend went with us with her daughter. And I remember we drove up there, and it was my mom and her friend in the front seat. My mom's friend driving. My mother hated interstate, so she would never have driven on the interstate. But she was, like, in the front. They were in the front seat. Do you guys remember back in the day? And I remember my mom's friend drove a Blazer back then. And it's like August, okay? In August in Indiana and Michigan, it's like 100 degrees, period, back in the day. I don't know if it will be this summer, because it's 35 degrees in April, but do you guys remember when people used to, like, your parents would smoke in the car with the windows up and the air conditioning on? And now y'all know, like, I smoke sometimes, so it's not like cigarette smoke would, like, totally turn me off. But back then, back then I was smoking with my friends in high school, which is so funny. But I'm in the back seat, and I'm trapped in this car, and there's just, like, they're smoking one cigarette after another with the air conditioning. I don't know if you grew up in an era where they had the pull-out ashtray and the lighter that you push in. Do you guys remember that? If you grew up in that era, you'll know what I'm talking about. You could never get the smell of cigarette smoke out of your car. Do you remember that? And you just, like, it constant, like, it just, that smell of air conditioning and cigarette smoke together is, like, the worst smell in the entire world. Well, anyway, we're in the back seat, and she and I, we have, like, gotten these. I had gotten this Elvis is Alive kit, like, tape and book, and we were, like, convinced that Elvis was alive, and we were gonna, like, this is, like, I had grown up with this girl. Like, her mom and my mom were, like, best friends since college. We, like, my mom and my Aunt Susie and then this woman were, like, the three of them were, like, really, really diehard good friends. So, we were like gonna solve this Elvis is Alive case, right? We were taking like notes, listening to the tape. We were both like listening to it, and our moms would be like, "What are you guys doing back there?" And we're like, "We're trying to find out if this Elvis is still alive." And they were like laughing so hard at us. They're like, "Elvis is alive!" Anyway, it was so much fun. And but I remember we like took the ferry over, and you know, like when you kind of go through like that change in your life, like in high school, where like you kind of start becoming into your own person, if that makes sense. Well, like my phase went like this. So my phase went from like just being kind of very quiet, and I mean I always was very quiet when it came to like teachers and like mean people in high school, like mean kids, but like just quiet to other people as well. And then I kind of went through that where I like got really into like folk music, and then that like towards that summer was when I was listening to like folk music, into like The Cure and the Smiths and stuff like that. And I let my hair kind of like, I had that hairstyle that was like, you know, shaved on one side, and like it was real skaterish and like long on the other side. And right when I got back from Michigan, I like shaved it, and or not shaved it, but like cut it real short, and I would like spin it into these like tight things in my head. It was very groovy, if I do say so myself. But anyway, so I remember like being on, I have like a picture of me like leaning back against the thing my mom took of me, and I had like the Walkman on, and I just remember listening to that, listening to Hey Mr. Tambourine Man by Bob Dylan. Maybe that's what, I heard that song today. Maybe that's what reminded me of all of this. I don't know. But just over and over and over again on repeat as we were driving from, or we were taking the ferry from Charlevoix to Beaver Island, because the only way to get to Beaver Island is by ferry. So we went over to Beaver Island, and we were there for a week. And I remember this house that we had. It was like, if today I would have been like so scared, right? I would have been so spooked. But back then I wasn't. I don't know why. We like drove, my mom's best friend from high school picked us up that lived there, and she drove us to, there was like, most people didn't even have cars on the island, and you would drive down the middle of the road. And I remember my mom was like, "Why are you driving down the middle of the road, Diane?" And she was like, "Because you're not supposed to dust people, because people would like drive on or walk on the side of the roads, and so you wouldn't dust them, and so you'd go real slow when you drove by somebody." So anyway, we pull up to this house. I'll never forget. This house was adorable. It's this little blue house, and it literally had like a huge tree out in front of it with like a tire swing on it. And that was like, and then the backyard was the beach. It was Lake Michigan. And we were like on this angle, like this corner that kind of like rounded out corner of Lake Michigan. And so it was like sandbars out for like a mile. I am not even lying to you. You could walk out like a mile into Lake Michigan and it'd still be like up to your knees. And we had so much fun. I mean, we had such a blast. We like washed our hair in the lake every day, and we would just be in the lake all day long. And I remember this house was like, each bedroom, like there was a bedroom on one side of the house and a bedroom on the other side of the house, and in the middle, literally, and one shared bathroom for 4 people. And right in the middle of the house was like this little kitchen, and like dining room area just big enough for like a dinette set, and then like a little couch with a TV and stuff like that. And the TV got like no stations, and the only thing you could do was like watch VCR like movies on it. It had like there was no TV stations, and we didn't even watch the TV. We played cards every night, and we played like cards every night. And I remember every morning we would get up, and my mom's friend would make bagels, and she would toast them, and then she would put butter on them with cream cheese, and then she would wrap them in tinfoil and put them in the oven for like 5 more minutes, and they were delicious. And we had that for breakfast every morning. And then we would go out on the beach. I remember my mom, like one night, this was when my mom was still drinking pretty heavy. One night she and her friend went out, and there was like one bar on the island, and it was called Jack's Bar, I think. And has anybody been to Beaver Island? Is anybody that's watching this have any clue what I'm talking about? I would love to go back up there sometime, you know, and just like see it. My mom, when she was in high school, used to go up there quite a bit. So my mom's friend Diane, like her dad owned a house on the island, but she lived here in town, so like in the summers they would go up there. And then after high school, her parents got divorced. So Diane's mom ended up moving to the island, and then Diane lived in the Haight in San Francisco till like 67, and then like in 67, Diane moved to Beaver Island and just stayed there for the rest of her life. She came to visit us twice. And I remember one time we went, she made us like take her to, it was like right when like, it was like a year after like VHS tapes came out. And I remember she like made us like go to the store, and she ended up renting like 12 movies. And she was like, A Shot in the Dark, and like all these movies that she loved from back in the day, like all the Alfred Hitchcock movies, you know, Sorry, Wrong Number. She was like mesmerized that you could actually like get these movies and watch them. And my mom and her would sit up like really late at night, like that summer, with like all the windows open, and she would like, they would just smoke one cigarette after another and like, you know, drink wine or probably beers or something like that. My mom was a big beer drinker back in the day. And I can remember like my mom, like when that summer, when the first summer that she came with a friend of hers, and she would be like, they like slept in like, we had like this TV room that was like a guest room, and it would be like 4:30 in the afternoon, and I would be like, Mom, and I'd be like, is Diane ever getting up? Because you know, like when you're a kid, you like want the guests to like let's go do something, right? And my mom would be like, shh, Diane's still asleep. And I'd be like, how is she still asleep? It's almost 5 o'clock. And my mom would be like, Diane always slept in late. And I'd say, Mom, like, don't you think that she should get up? And she'd be like, who cares? My parents, I will say, that is one thing my parents never cared about. You know, like a lot of parents are like, you need to get up at 9 o'clock in the morning. My parents did not care if I slept in. I love when people criticize me for like sleeping in. Like on my videos, they'll say, well, he sleeps till 4 o'clock in the afternoon and doesn't. Well, I never sleep till 4 o'clock. God, I wish. He sleeps till 2 or 12 and never gets anything done. And I'm like, that's kind of been my entire life. And I think I've gotten a lot done in my life, but whatever. I live on a different schedule than other people. But it doesn't really matter, you know? Diane had a good life, and she slept in late every day. She was a bartender too, you know? So anyway, but I'll never forget that. And so they went out one night, and I remember like my mom came home and she took her contacts out. And now this is some drunk shit right here, okay? She took her contacts out and laid them on the beach so she'd go swimming. Now my mom used to wear hard contact lenses, okay? That you had to like, you know what I'm talking about? Like back in the day? This is before the disposables. This is like you had to keep, like they were expensive shit, okay? And she laid them on the beach. Oh my God, I will never forget that next day. She was so pissed at herself. Diane was like, I kept on telling you not to take them out, but you said that you had to take them out and you were gonna lay them on the beach. She goes, so finally I just let you. Oh my God, I've had some times like that with some friends of mine before. I'm like in my head thinking about some times back in the day. But anyway, that was such a fun week. I remember this one night. I've shared this whole story about Beaver Island before on here, but I remember this one night, Diane came to pick us all up, and she'd like packed a picnic. And she was like, we were like, where are we going? And she was like, we're gonna go see the sunset. And like, you know, you grow up in a place that you don't like go out and really like look at the sunset every day. You know what I mean? And so we're driving to the other side of the island to see the sunset, and we don't really get the impact of this, you know? And there are people all over the island. It's like, first of all, where did all these people come from? And then all of a sudden, they're just all walking to the other side of the island. And my mom said, Diane, where are all these people coming from? She goes, we walk over to see the sunset every night. And she was like, really? And I remember standing on the beach with all of these people watching the sunset. And it was beautiful, you know? It was like beautiful. And all these people like, you know, walking just to see a sunset. really, like, I did my video today about, on my Peterisms channel, about, like, how gratitude has really affected me in my life. And, like, that's one of the things that's really changed for me, like, in the last, like, 6 months to a year. I think really since my aunt passed away, honestly, you know, that, like, I've really started, like, when, it's not just my mom, it's my aunt, you know, it's like, you know, my dad getting older, my uncle being sick, you know, things like that. It's like my life is starting to get smaller and smaller. And the smaller that my life has gotten, the more it's made me appreciate kind of it's made me appreciate more the smaller things, you know? But not things that are small in the world, things that I had considered small, you know? Like sunsets, like dogs running around, like holding my dog Boo the way that I did tonight, you know, or just being so comfortable in a bed that you just don't want to move, you know, or, you know, the taste of one iced tea over another. Just little things like that. It was like the other day I got Chinese food, and I got these vegetable spring rolls. And they gave me like this hot mustard with it. I got it from Payway. And it was like, if I dipped it in too much, it was like really like overloaded and burned my mouth. But if I dipped it in not enough, like I didn't really get the taste of the mustard. So there was like just a certain amount that I had to dip it into, you know, and get it. And like when I finally figured that trick out of like how much was perfect, it was like every bite was like absolutely perfect. Do you know what I mean? And there's so many things like that, you know? It's like I remember back in the day, this is so stupid, okay? Well, first of all, back in the day, I could not understand anybody that dipped their french fries in ranch. Until I started dipping my french fries in ranch, and then I became that person. And then one day, I was at Tanya's house, and Tanya uses paper plates a lot. And, because when she was like, when her son was growing up, there was always like people over her house, like, from recovery, and her kids' friends, and things like that. So it was just easier for her to clean up and throw everything away. Well, I was like, we had just gone to like Wendy's or something and gotten like cheeseburgers and french fries. And so I had all my stuff on a plate, and then I had a plate and I had like ranch, because she had like ranch out, and she came over and she goes, and I like my fries in ketchup, okay? I do not like my fries in ketchup and ranch mixed, or so I thought. And so she comes over and she like squirts this ketchup on it, and she's like, here, have some ketchup. I go, Tanya, you just flooded my ranch with ketchup. And so anyway, I was just like, screw it. And so like took it, and then all of a sudden I fell in love with ketchup and ranch together, which, now I don't always love it. I kind of go ranch, and ketchup. I kind of like, do you ever do that? So anyway, but it's those small things that really make life the greatest, you know? Some memories of a coffee shop in Michigan in the summer. That's like one of my finest memories in life, you know? And every day on my gratitude list, I always write down my memories, you know, that my memories are something that I'm grateful for, because I get on here and I tell all these ridiculously stupid stories of my life, you know, but to me, they mean something. All of these stories are, you know, a patchwork quilt of what my life has looked like. And probably that coffee shop in Michigan, probably that, you know, ride to, you know, Beaver Island, probably that house, and, you know, that those bagels that she made in the morning, plus the grilled cheeses that we had in the evening, you know, which I remember, and all of that stuff probably added in part, a big part, to who I am today, you know? Just like all of the people in my life that I've had have added to who I am today. They all collectively make up, you know, who I am today, the people that I've had in my life, and I feel very, very blessed to have all the people in my life that I do, you know? will say this, I wouldn't want to own a sailboat. On a side note, I don't know why. It's a lot of work. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of work. And even though we kept it at the marina in Saugatuck, I don't know what just made me think that. But it's like the memory is fantastic, but I wouldn't want to be the one like having to do all that. My dad like loved to sail, or it wouldn't have been as much fun. You know what I mean? Like, he loved to sail. I don't know why. The other thing, I just remember this, was like my dad would let me collect all the cans from like the weekends that we were there, and whatever money, because like in Michigan at that time you could get like 10 cents a can for aluminum, and so whatever I made I got to keep, and I would like find all the cans and I would like turn them in. Do you guys remember that? And the only soda we ever had was root beer and Squirt. My dad loved that Squirt soda. Ugh. I still don't like it. We go over to his house. He's like, do you guys want something? Diet Coke, Squirt? I'm like, do they still make that shit? Like, I mean, how do you still have that stuff? Oh my God. Well, all right, listen, I am almost at 30 minutes on this part of it. I'm at 29 minutes and 35 seconds. So I'm going to get off here and listen to my audiobook for a little bit, and then go home and go to sleep with my little doggies and my husband. And I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.